What is going on, you guys? Welcome back to another video. And hopefully it won't be too long before we're back out there making some great new content. But in the meantime, I thought I would go over my 6 best tips for prepping your camera before you get out again. So let's get into it. Alright, so my first tip, and I think I may have mentioned this in a previous video, but I thought I'd mention it anyway, is memory cards. Yeah, I've been over this like a million times, but it's basically like a mental scar for me. It's always great to have memory cards because I actually shot an event once and I pretty much had like everything ready, and then I pulled out my camera and I took the first shot, except I didn't take the first shot because there was no memory card in it. So yeah, but I always think it's great to have spares, so I always highly recommend having at least 2, one in your camera and one as spare. I actually have a few of these in my car just in case I run out. So yeah, you can see I'm kind of paranoid with it, but I think it's always best to be safe than sorry. If you have a camera that takes 2 memory cards, then have 4 memory cards, always double that amount that which your camera can take. So then if there is any overlap, or if you do run out of memory, or if you do somehow lose one, or it corrupt, or the image is corrupt on it, then you can at least have a backup ready to go and you're not put off or put out too much. Sometimes I even find it's handy to buy another one on the day just to make sure that, you know, the one that's been sitting in your cupboard for the last 6 months hasn't gone bad for whatever reason. But yeah, memory cards. Okay, so my second piece of advice is keep your lenses and bodies in their respective lens pouches or body containers. And that basically just ensures that they're kept nice and clean and dust free. So even if you keep them in a case, keep them in a case whilst they're not in use. And that also adds to the longevity of them as well. So it means that you're not going to get any dust in your camera sensors or any dust in your buttons. Because I know after a while that sometimes if you get too much dust in your camera or lenses, even if it's very minute dust, it can actually end up screwing up the focus or can end up screwing up the zoom on it. Or even on the bodies, it can get in between the buttons, and after 5, 10 plus years, it builds up and you just end up not being able to use it because the manufacturer won't be making parts for it anymore. So always keep your lenses and bodies in a container or in a pouch or in a box or something to protect them from even just the micro dust that you can't even see. So yeah, definitely recommend keeping them in some sort of container. So my third tip is cleaning supplies, or cleaning solutions really. So having some sort of case where you can keep all your cleaning cloths, all your cleaning fluid, wet wipes, dry wipes, all that sort of thing is super handy. It means that in a pinch you can just go and grab it and chuck in your bag, or you can go and grab it and grab whatever you need out of it. So it's all kind of centralized and in one place. The only kind of downside is that if you do lose it, but let's try not to lose it. And yeah, it's just super great to have everything in place. I have a blower in here. I have a few different wipes in here. I also have a number of wet wipes and dry wipes, like I said. So yeah, if you keep all your cleaning solution together, it means that you know where it is. And it also means that you can easily grab it if you're in a rush, or if you're running short of time, you can just grab it and know that everything's in there good to go. So yeah, grab some sort of cleaning case. Next item. Okay, so my next item is this ThinkTank cable management bag. So it's super handy. It basically just unzips and it has all those cables in there. So I don't know if you can see that, but anyway, so yeah, it has all my cables in it. Again, it's kind of similar to the last tip, but it means that I can literally just put any cables or microphones or any smaller bits and pieces in here. It's more of a solution for at-home storage rather than on the go, because it's not hard in any way, shape or form. It's pretty soft. So yeah, I find it super handy to put all your smaller cables or smaller microphones, just all those smaller bits and pieces, and it just helps to know exactly where everything is at home rather than having to go through 10 different boxes or look under 5 different things. So if I know that everything's in one bag, then I know where to go if I'm running short of time or if I just want to have a look at something. So yeah, grab some sort of cable management bag or some sort of larger bag and or some sort of larger case, and you should be good to store pretty much all the small things in there. Okay, so one of the final things that I always mention to people is batteries and battery chargers. So I always charge my batteries 24, 48 hours before a shoot. And the reason for that is because I usually take multiple batteries, or I usually have multiple batteries charging. So I think it's good to put at least one battery on 24 hours and then switch it over sort of the night before. And that way you're just making sure that your batteries are 100% charged, and you know that once you're changing over the battery on the charger, you can then put the new battery in your bag, good to go. So yeah, highly recommend a battery or a battery charger. If you're only using one battery, I'd highly recommend grabbing another one, and that way you should be covered. But otherwise, again, it just comes down to how you know your camera. So yeah, highly recommend grabbing an extra battery charger, especially for lights. I find lights generally chew through the battery quite fast, depending on what you're shooting, of course. If not, your camera as well, because that's obviously a main key component. But otherwise, yeah, highly recommend a battery, even if it's just a third party. Okay, so last but definitely not most least is a journal. So I always find, for me personally, writing down some notes before a shoot, or writing down some notes a week before, 2 days before, 5 days before, whatever it may be, is always super handy. I find the notes app on my phone is also filled with various notes about ideas about how I want to shoot something or what the kind of shots I want to get. So yeah, I don't think most people really talk about it as much, but I think having some sort of journal, having some sort of notes in your phone is a really, really great way of being able to put down exactly what shots you want to get. Because I feel like for me, I always end up forgetting the shots that I want to get, and if I write it down, then at least know, okay, I need to get this shot, I want to get this shot, I want to get this shot, and then, or even if I'm doing a shoot, I go, okay, I want to get this kind of shot, I want to take this many photos, I want to aim to tell this sort of story through my photos. So having some sort of way to write it down without forgetting the idea is always super handy. But yeah, that is it for this video, guys. I know it's just a short one. I hope you guys really enjoyed. If you felt like you got some sort of value out of this, be sure to like and subscribe. But with all that being said, I'll see you in the next one. See ya.